Hi everyone, so I'm Manfred Touron, founder of Berty Technologies, for Berty's Messenger, an engineer, an open source addict, and a co-organizer of this event. And 2 years ago, I made a presentation about the current state of Berty, and today I will make the presentation about what we did during these 2 years, what we plan to do in the future, and talk to you about the project around Berty, because I think most of you knows Berty because we made amazing presentation, technical presentation yesterday on Bluetooth, on offline communication. And yes, we have other plans. So 3-4 years ago, I created Berty Technologies, which is an NGO, a French NGO. And we wanted to create a unique application, which is a messenger, but with privacy, with peer-to-peer, but easy to use for people, not a tool for the geeks, for people with a lot of expensive technical stuff, etc. We wanted that it to be a real messenger, so something with all the features you need to communicate with one people, with a group of people. And we wanted to integrate one of the best ecosystems in the world, the Web3 ecosystem, and to be accepted by this ecosystem. In the previous slide, you saw future ready. So yes, future ready, we are clearly working for things that most of us here don't know, which are disasters, wars, etc. Our plan is to make messengers that can work very well in good condition countries, but that can also work when we are not lucky to be in a good country. 3 or 4 years ago, we were in FOSDEM and we made a small tag. At the moment, we were very naive. We didn't know what we plan to do exactly. We have some blurry image of the future, but I'm happy to see that most of the points on the tag are basically what you can find in Berty. So pretty cool to just follow an initial vision. And a small focus on the Berty Messenger. So this is what has been done right now. We basically started with nothing. We started by analyzing what can be a good solution to create a messenger, so every technology in the P2P space, and we quickly fell in love with IPFS and P2P. Then we have basically worked on each challenges of Berty. One of the challenges is P2P on mobile, which is very difficult because of the because of the constraints on mobile, low few CPU, no background mode, no fixed IP address, etc. And privacy and P2P, because most of the time P2P is made to be easily discoverable, not to be discreet when you want to speak with someone. Privacy for communication in public, because basically the plan when you make P2P messenger is to use a public space to make everything with your private contact and groups. We experience with IPFS, P2P, and in general full nodes on mobile. And today we finished the experimental research phase because we have an application on the stores. You can install it. It's not reliable. You cannot use it to save your life, etc. But you can still experience a P2P application. You can see what cool things like communicating with peers using Bluetooth. What happened with the no battery? Thanks. Hello, hello. Yes. So yes, today it's not usable as a messenger. It's a messaging application. You can send and receive message with friends and group of friends, but you cannot just rely on Berty, and especially in our ultimate target, which is in disaster or in wars, etc. So during this phase, we learned a lot, and today we are going to the next phase, which is to have something usable by everyone and every day. So it's the P2P application. We will take multiple shortcuts, especially on mobile, because on desktops it's a lot easier to make P2P application, but on mobile, since it's difficult, we'll take shortcuts. Those shortcuts are clearly out of our original plan because they use centralization, like push notification, relying on Apple or server, helping the networking. That's clearly not our original goal, but thanks to this, we will have very good application for the everyday life. As soon as you go in a disaster mode, etc., the application will sometimes work. Sometimes we'll have Bluetooth, sometimes we will have local network, etc. So we will be P2P ready. We won't be as private as P2P reliable as expected, but at least you will be able to use Bertie reliably with your friends, etc. Then we will work on P2P because we will have an application that is usable, so we will have users, and in these users we will have experts. So I'm talking about the P2P team, IPFS teams, other people in the room. And yes, the plan is as soon as we have an application we can use, it's a real IPFS messaging app, even if we take some shortcuts on mobile. And we will, yes, this time work on P2P, advanced P2P. And not work, but work again on. To finally make the final phase, which is Extreme Privacy Messenger, the original mission. So basically, it's reducing metadata a lot, improving the protocol, auditing the protocol, adding some techniques to hide the IP address, etc. Try to remove all the shortcuts we used, and if we can't remove them, we will just discourage people to use them, or just try to make anything we can to have some conversations that are very, very, very private, because they are private cryptographically, and because they don't rely on any server. So the plan is to progressively go from a general audience with an application that works, which is already P2P ready, which can work with Bluetooth when you are in airplane mode, etc., to the extreme privacy use case. And clearly, we do that because it's too difficult to do everything at the same time, and we need some experts to help us. Today, I feel alone when I'm working on P2P on mobile, and I think that because we have a lot of things to still do on P2P on desktop, etc. So I clearly want that the first step, we can do it alone. We can create a lot of tools, a lot of documentation about what we do in our niche, and then be able to collectively fix all the challenge together. We are not only a messenger. We are a messenger, and I think it's maybe underrated, but technically, if we succeed, the Web3, the P2P, will come in the mobile of potentially billions of people, and I think that's completely awesome, because billions of people that are not aware what is the Web3 and that don't need to understand what is the Web3, and billions of devices. We saw a lot of super graph from the IPFS and P2P team about thousands or hundreds of thousands of servers. We will have potentially billions of devices. They will be very bad. They will change IP address every 5 minutes. But technically, it's interesting. Maybe it will be a dedicated network. We don't know yet. But I think it's the future to tell that we have very powerful devices in our pocket. They can communicate with other devices around. They can act as relay too. Today, it's not something we want because it takes too much battery. But in the future, I think having basically for each commodity a P2P alternative is something that should happen. And we try to take the messaging one. So yes, we plan to make a Berty SDK. We'll try to use a different naming, thanks to Juan's suggestion yesterday, because we have clearly different users, billion potential users on one side and developers on the others. So today, Berty is a monolith. Everything is inside. The plan is to progressively extract some part of Berty to an SDK. So it won't be only for creating messaging apps, because we created various unique features. Today, if you want to create a distributed application, the most of the time you will have a blockchain and a lot of Web2 services, Web2 storage, etc. But now, thanks to IPFS, NFT, we have a lot of projects using blockchains and IPFS. And our plan is to, for the SDK at least, is to have a place for some features. The idea is to, okay, I want to create an application. I don't want to rely on server. I don't want to be stoppable, etc. But consensus is too slow, or I need a real time, or I need private groups. And that's the kind of things we do with Berty. You can imagine Berty for users as a messaging app, but also as a messaging transport for application. One of the things we do very good, very well, is group messaging with ACLs. Most of the time you have pub sub, etc. We had a lot of privacy, authentication, etc. inside. And all the topics, offline, net split, privacy, and mobile. In the same category, we have developed Bertie Labs. Bertie Labs will probably change the name, change its name in the same time of course SDK. Technically, it's nothing new. It's just we packaged some IPFS existing features in a mobile app that is available on app stores. And this is a present for mostly the builders and especially Protocol Labs team, because I think that most of Protocol Labs team use IPFS and P2P 8 hours a day, but not that much on mobile. And this application is an application that won't make any internet connection, any Web2 connection. It has a full IPFS node. You can even manage your multiple IPFS nodes, and then you can experience NFT browsing, run an IPFS web UI to know that you are connected with your small device to 600 other peers, etc. And this is a present to let anyone experience this, and also a trap, because we designed it to be easy to add a new line in the menu. So basically, you can port JS IPFS web application in the mobile. Later, you will have Bluetooth integrated, etc. So yes, please use it as a builder or curious and make pairs with your own project. Everything here is about creating an ecosystem, and not only an ecosystem, but creating ecosystems that we open to others, but also integrating the others' ecosystems. Our plan is Berty Messenger to keep Berty Messenger as it is. It should not be complex. It should not be full of Web3 features like blockchain, etc. It should stay very simple, very focused for the users, allowing to just have an alternative to central messaging that works without internet, without servers. But the rest of the project is clear. The best thing to do for the rest of the project is to open it and share it with other ecosystems. So we wish users to use Berty Messengers. We wish builders to use Berty SDK. We want a lot of help from experts. So we will develop a lot of tools, start writing documentation, and open issues to discuss our special edge case on mobile, on privacy in P2P, etc. And the idea is to, yes, collaborate on the challenge together. And we wish to find out a solution to make Berty sustainable forever, because today we are both financially dependent of generous donors, and we are still an NGO, so legal entities that can be closed if a country don't like us and want to censor our services, but also censor the legal entity. It's possible. So we are looking for a decentralized way to make both the team, the project, but also the application completely independent and sustainable. To finish, how you can help us, you can download Berty, give us feedback. We know that there is a lot of issue. We don't ask you to use it in dangerous way, because it's not stable enough, it's not private enough, it's not audited, not audited enough. But you can still use it, make any feedback, etc. Help us if you want. Everything is open source. we will hire more people on both the new stream, which will be oriented to integration and etc., but also on the main team, which needs to grow to make a greater product. So the idea is to continue the initial plan to arrive to the extreme privacy P2P messenger, which is the ultimate goal, and the team will be dedicated to that, not polluted by everything related to blockchain, etc., because we need the messenger for normal users, normal people. We need a very good product for that. On the other part, there will be, yes, new teams for integration, composed ideally with some people from Bertie. I don't know if it will be if it will be the same team, but we need people on Bertie and on other teams to collaborate. We have to grow a community or communities. Today we have a community on Discord, but it's a mix between users, builders, enthusiasts, curious people, potential investors, etc. We will probably split them to protect each community and the team of the noise. But right now, you can just join us and help us. What else? And yes, I think the most important part is Bertie is a common. You should use it, fork it, and hack it. It's not our project. We are the main developers, but it's for everyone. We don't own any data, we don't have any business plan. We just want to create a common and let it grow. And for that, we need to protect it and to find a way to make it better and better over time. And that's all. I presented you various parts of what is the Bertie ecosystem, at least virtually today. If you have any question, I will be happy to answer.
Thanks a lot, Manfred. Okay, so question time. Sorry.
Well, thank you, Manfred, for this presentation. So you say you are using IPFS to transfer the message from two different users, and does those messages are stored like forever on IPFS, or is there some point that
they are stored forever on the node that will keep them? Technically, most of the time, the messages will only be stored by the people that want to store them, which are the end users. But since it's an open network, anyone should be able to keep something that pass through its devices. But the protocol will encrypt everything in a way that it's completely useless for anyone else outside of the conversation.
Perfect, thank you.
Other questions? Well, I have a question for Manfred. So, Manfred, let's imagine we are at Paris P2P Festival 2023. You're on stage and you're going to give an update on Bertie. What would the ideal update look like?
You can use Bertie every day in a safe way. Here is the roadmap for the next 3 months, which will improve both P2P strength and privacy. So we will go more and more into what we want. I don't think in 2023 we can be able to say, okay, that's everything is finished, we can use it in extreme condition, but I want to show a plan of where we are and what we need to do until the end. And my other target is to start seeing, like IPFS does very well with a lot of projects related with logos, etc. I would like to see Bertie in other projects. I don't know yet if it's deeply integrated or anything, but as soon as we are on multiple projects, I know that more people are using it, more people are expanding the network, and basically we are going more and more in the way that where the core team becomes not the central point of Bertie, and that's my ultimate goal. I don't know for the team. The team has the same ultimate goal to make extreme privacy P2P messenger, but my ultimate goal is to make a community project.
Thanks a lot.
Hi. Thanks for the talk. Do you think, in your vision, Bertie should address the community servers' needs? As an example, Discord, it's usually used in Web3 to manage communities. Do you think Bertie in the future might substitute the Discords?
So that's the reason why I want to rename Berty SDK, because Berty Messenger, no. Berty Messenger is focused on extreme privacy, and extreme privacy in group with 50, 100 people is no sense. Berty Messenger is focused for extreme privacy, so more private discussion. Technically, you can use it as a Discord, but I discourage people to do it. But the other Berty SDK that will have another name should be, ideally, one of the components of this famous Discord killer in Web3.
Okay, so the next Discord killer, okay, download it. Anybody else has questions about the next Discord killer? 1 minute.
I think the plans are super exciting, both for the SDK and for the community. Can you maybe talk about how to grow the community and where you're gonna, how many people here can help out, and how you plan to kind of like over time grow the set of people working with you on these awesome protocols?
My ultimate plan is to have a very community-driven project where the core team is less than half of the workforce, but it will take a lot of time. It will start by having a community, then have a bigger community, then have a workflow to manage the growth of the community and the process of reviewing everything, etc. Clearly, even if that's the plan, for now we will try to not do just a good README and wait. We will have two strategies. One of them is to participate in event and hackathon to make Berty known by builders. I think that's the best way to find individual contributors, which can be then part of the core team eventually. And the other part is making partnership. So for instance, the Discord killer is a good use case where we don't want to use it because the application is designed for a specific use case, which is everyone. But we will be happy that as soon as we don't unfocus on the original mission to help other projects to use Berty in their way. So yes, for now we'll be open and we will make a big area of chance to have collaboration, but we'll mostly create partnerships where people have dedicated developers to work with us. So it doesn't take too much time for us. We can help them to make their project. And as soon as we have multiple experience of integration of Berty, we can start making general SDK based on what they have done. I think that's the maximum we can do, because it would not be a good idea to just say we go with a lot of individual contributor and manage all the discussion, etc.
Hi again. So I have a question here, which is, what is the current state of the Berty SDK? This is because there are lots of hackathons actually happening all the time, and I think you might consider publishing a grant in an hackathon for people to build on top of the SDK, and that would be really interesting for you, I think.
Right now, the SDK is virtually ready to make a lot of things, but not ready at all to be self-service. And worst, it's not general enough to be able to be used by other ones without adding complexity in our own product. That will be the challenge. That's why I want to start with partnerships where we can identify very accurate things. For instance, the partnership won't be necessarily a full messenger. It can be just a kind of WebSocket with authentication, which is one part of Berty that doesn't rely on full identity of group, etc. And so yes, the SDK is ready as soon as we take some time to help make a custom package for the person. But yes, the plan is to improve the code base, but also to make generic package, so anyone can come read the documentation, make an hello world application, and continue with advanced features.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Do we take another question?
And
okay.
Just something about the hackathon. Today we have a hackathon topic, and we design it specifically in a case. So we said if someone wants to speak Berty, we will do, but to prevent having too many topics that are not ready enough, we just worked during 2 weeks on making one topic which can be self-service.
Great. Well, thank you, Manfred. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.